Welcome to our first video in our series of Java programming. My name is Nate Nestler, and this is for Hyperactive Studios. So let's have a look at how to create a Java program. Now I have NetBeans IDE 7.3, but it doesn't really matter which NetBeans it is. This is a really good program application. You can get it from the people who create Java from Sun, and this is essentially their Java compiler editor here. And it's a pretty good program. I really like it a lot. I use it. This is my main program for doing Java. Clips is also very popular, but for this series we're going to use NetBeans. It has a number of advantages that we'll be taking a look at. So if I go to File and I say New Project here, I can then create a new project. In this case I want it to be set to Java, and then Java Application, like so. Then I'm going to click on Next. And in this case I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, let's call this Intro Basic Intro Hello World. How about that? And Hello World is just a very common first starter program that's used in just about every language out there when you're first learning a language. So we're just going to follow along with that. And let's say finish here. And I'm going to say on my intro hello world, I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to set it as my main project. Now if this is your first project, this will be the only project, therefore it will be set as main project. The other way to set it is, if you can't get that right click menu to come up, is come here and run, and then say set main project, and then point to the one that you want to set. Well, if I can get my cursor to behave. So in this case, intro hello world. Okay. We get this default, sets it up, makes it easy for us to get going. And it automatically creates the package for us. Now, package is like a set of software, and we can develop a whole set of software that goes into this package, and then we could basically import this package into another project, and we get that whole set of software that we developed. So if we wanted to develop, say, a base of a program and be able to take that from one program to another and reuse it, we can put it into a package, and that's essentially what's automatically created here as a package. And we're starting our journey into developing software here with this. So it's very nice, and this can be extremely useful to you in the future. And you'll love packages later on. Okay, and here's a class. And a class is like an object, like you would see every day. For instance, like a car. We could create a car class, and we could define the car. We could define how many doors the car has. We could define how many cylinders are in the engine. We could define how many wheels the car has. You get the idea. And so it basically treats the whole thing as an object. The slash and star here is a comment. This is a multi-line comment. What this means is that you could basically write an entire paragraph, and this comment continues on until it reaches a star slash going this direction here, versus the slash star starts it and a star slash ends it. So all the stuff in between is just a comment. It's basically for your own good, so that way you can leave a message for yourself and the computer completely ignores it when it goes to compile the program. Compiling a program is where it takes this code that you're seeing here and breaks it down into ones and zeros, or up and down, low, high signals, electrical signals in the computer. And it just does low and high frequencies really quick in the computer for computing it. That's all it is. Computer really can't think. It's just doing up and down signals really fast. And so you do all the thinking for the computer. So all the smarts that you're used to seeing in the computer, everything, that's actually programmers that came up with that. And they figured out how to write an algorithm to solve that problem. And we've written lots of smart algorithms over the time of development of programming. And so it makes it really seem like the computer is smart. But it's really not. It's just a bunch of smart things that people have done over time that makes a computer look really intelligent. Computer, again, can only do low and high signals. That's all it can do. So it's really actually quite stupid. It's not much smarter than a rock, more or less. It just can compute high and low signals really, really fast. So there is that. All right, so Then we have our main here, and our main is going to be the main function that runs our entire program. And in here, we have to have it be public, just like up in the class. Now, public means that anyone can see it or access it, and we want it to be public so that other people can see it. Static means hold it in memory so it doesn't get destroyed after the function is done running until the entire program is done running. That's what static means. In the case of the main, since it's running the whole main program, we want it to persist in memory or stay in the RAM of the computer and not actually close out. Void means return nothing at all. If you have a void, think of it like deep space void. There's nothing in there. The same idea here. It's a void. There's nothing. We're returning absolutely nothing at all. Main is a function, or it could be called a method since it's part of a class. And that's the name of our main function that's going to run our entire program. We have open close parentheses to determine what's going to get passed into main. In this case, it's going to be a string array. What a string array is a bunch of text. String is just like a sentence. So if you were to write a sentence like this, you put it in quotes like this, and you say, I had a great day today. And that'd be one string. Well, by putting brackets here, this would be literally an entire list of strings. So, or aka an array of strings. So like that. That is essentially what this string open close brackets are. It's just a whole list of strings like that. It's storing them. And it stores it into a variable called args, short for arguments. And this would be like command line arguments, so one could type in when they first launched the program. So at the command prompt, you could type in the name of your program and then space, and then additional stuff after that that you want to pass into your program. We're not going to use this for our first program because it's kind of more complicated than what we want to get into in the first video here. But essentially, these arguments get passed in to this variable, which is a string array, and then we could actually check those arguments and make it do different things in our program if we wanted to. So I'm going to leave that at that, and I don't want to really get into that because it's going to confuse you really bad if we get into it in depth. So don't worry about that for now. We'll come back to it later and worry about it in some other video. This is an open curly brace, and then this is a closing curly brace. Open curly braces start the begin of a block of code, and then we end our block of code with a closing curly brace, and this is required. You may notice, though, that in between our curly braces, we tend to tab our code. That helps us visually see, and this is a standard industry thing. It's not required from the programming standpoint of the computer. The computer doesn't care what we do. As far as that goes, it doesn't know what a tab does. It doesn't mean anything to the computer. It ignores it. But for us humans, and for the industry, we require tabbing to tab it over. And when we do, it makes it easy to read your code. Not like the old standard of putting the curly braces in line with each other. Some other people have a preference for it to be like this. I really hate that. My reason for hating that is because you cannot easily see that you're missing your curly brace at the end of the line. And so people are more likely to miss those or forget those when they do that. So I like having them in line like this so I can quickly and easily see that I am not missing curly braces. Some people are like, well, it takes up more space. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make the program run any slower. It runs the same speed. It just makes it easier for you to read the code. So I absolutely hate having that on there. Some other people have started doing things like where they do this with their program. And then they do this, which I absolutely hate. So some people feel like this starting set of words should be put on a separate line from the actual main one. Even though all the stuff goes together, they are putting it on a separate line. I also dislike this too, because I think it makes it more difficult to read what is being returned. This is the data that's being returned here from this function. And I really don't like it on a separate line because it makes it make less sense to me. This is how it was originally designed to be done back when, and I'm kind of sticking with the way things were done back when because I think it makes the most sense. Some of the new ways people are formatting code is getting to be a little frustrating, but Anyways, we want to format a code like this in our videos here, in our projects here, and following along with this video. But do be aware, if you do see some of these other interesting formatting schemes, that's why and how it's being done. If you want to do a single line comment, if you only want to comment out a single line, use // It lets you comment out just one line. You don't have to have the /* in // sorry, meaning that you don't have to have the first /* and the ending //. Instead, you could just say // and it comments out one line of code. So they're just letting me know that, hey, I need to put my application program code here. So let's do that. If I say system.out, let's say println. Now there's a difference between print and println. Println is going to print an entire line, and print's just going to print a statement on one line, and you could end up putting more than one statement on one line with print statements. I'll show you what I mean. So I come in here and say hello world. It helps if you spell it correctly. Good grief. And I don't have to put a new line character at the end. Instead I can just say just this right here and it'll work. So then I can just hit play and it will run my program. And it's going to display at my output, and it displays hello world like this. Boom, there it is. Now I could have written this, and you'll notice that my build successful was on the bottom line down below it. Let me show you what happens if you do it print instead. So I do it print instead here. You can run this, but then hello world is all on the same line like this with my build successful because we didn't tell it to go to a new line. That's what the ln stands for. So it's what print ln does, new line there. I could add a new line by coming here and saying /n. Well, if my cursor's in the window, I can. And then tell it run again. And then does the same thing. So print with a /n in it at the end is the same thing as saying print ln. If I were to put both in there, it's going to give me a space for my line. See, so not only do we get a print line, but then we get another new line, and then it puts a space between our program and our build successful at that point. So that's how to do the command line. We'll do a graphical version of this on the next video for how to do hello world. Cool. My name is Nate Nestler. This is for Hyperactive Studios. Thank you very much.